for the sake of clarity, the way I see it, narcissism is the extreme of selfishness, where toxic empathy would be the extreme of selflessness. Empathy is the balance in the middle. Happy, luckiest day, most fortuitous day of the year, June 24th, 2025. We've been out here for a bit, and I recorded a little message I had written this morning. So I'll add that somewhere in here. But anyway, I'm walking back because there's this old forestry road that I see all the time, and I really want to walk it to see where it takes me. So let's just do that. Okay, so it cuts right through here, and we've driven this many times, but I've never walked down here. And I know where it generally is going to end up, but I just thought it would be kind of cool to walk it today and bring you along. The moisture is so nice. I mean, look at this. I mean, I think this landscape is always beautiful, but it just makes me feel better for the trees and everything when it has been watered. So what I wrote this morning, it continues to be along the same lines about narcissism, because that's a huge topic of conversation right now. And anything that's a topic of conversation that becomes very commonplace, there's a reason. There's always a reason. We're being led in some way or another. And my thoughts are that society, and I'll speak from Western society where I live in Western Canada, North America, is that it has benefited from separation. Separating people, creating a dichotomy of, like I've mentioned before, an us and a them, and that you want to side with the right side, the side of good and light and positive, all of these things, and vilify all forms of darkness, all forms of negativity and bad, air quotes, because then our sense of connectedness is destroyed. It also keeps us in a state of hypervigilance and fear, thinking that someone's out to get us. And that is why it's so important to always step back and look at the bigger picture. Get all the information, find out who benefits from the stories that are being told and the conversations that are being had. Why is it being promoted on channels and places that are the ones perpetrating so much harm by taking away people's rights to be discerning, to have choices? You have to ask yourself that. You have to say, okay, what's happening here? And why am I feeling compelled to follow a group. So group thinking, where you get swept up in something that is maybe not even anything that you personally have investigated, considered. You just are going with the flow. And that's never good. Not when it comes to lacking awareness. You need to have that awareness to be in a flow of your flow, right? So as we consider the conversations that we're having and the things that we're thinking, and my belief, as it is with many other people who also believe this, I'm not the first, that we're all one. We come from a single source. And that we all depend on each other, the interconnectedness of all things. Without these trees and the oxygen, and without the earth and the grass and the water and the everything in balance, we don't exist. We don't exist in the way that we are believing we exist. And that's why, for me, I look at this story of narcissism and I question it, having worked in an environment that heavily pathologized people, and obviously it's a government institution, corrections, right? Separate the bad from good, separate the conformers to the non-conformers, or, you know, of course, serious harm. I worked in serious harm. And should people not be punished or held accountable for their actions? I absolutely believe that people should be held accountable if they are not holding themselves accountable. And I think that we need to take another step, again, bigger picture, to ensure that we're just not broadly stroking this and saying one size fits all. Now, we don't like this, right? Because it doesn't serve the main narrative that fits a few. So we're just gonna, sweep a few more things into this prison. Because you're not sweeping people into the prison. It's beliefs, values, ideologies. So having that awareness for yourself is key. Okay, well, we've reached the end of this little road. I could walk down a little bit further, but I know where it's going to take me, which is nowhere, and closer to the highway, which I don't want. So I think we'll just leave it here. So until next time, everyone, stay safe and stay connected, and we'll see you real soon. Bye.